Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life After Happiness. Today, I have my guest, my co-host, Barbara. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Now, what we're doing today is instead of a chakra day, because Kelly is tied up at the moment, is we're going to have a guest be read. Now, Ginger, is your name Ginger?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Ginger, I'd like you to meet our show psychic Kelly. Now, Karen.
No.
Sorry.
No, that's not
Karen,
my name either.
I'm sorry. Sorry. My show psychic Karen. Now, this is what we're going to do is rather than having a chakra day, which will help you get some other time, we're going to have you talk to our psychic. This is Karen Page. Karen Page, this is Ginger. Ginger, this is Karen Page.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
I am
Did you want
happy.
me just to do a short introduction of Ginger so the listeners know just one or two things
Sure.
about her? Okay.
Of course, honey.
All right.
Instead of diving right in.
Right. She is an amazing woman. Ginger Kuchba is our guest today. She is a Gold Star widow, a WBFF Pro fitness model, and she runs her own health and fitness business and also a single mom. So welcome, Ginger, to Life After Happiness.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for the introduction.
You're welcome. So Karen is going to do a reading for you today, which is always so fun and very exciting. And you say that you've never talked to a psychic before. Is that right?
That is correct. I have never done this before, so I'm very excited.
Do you have a few questions ready?
I do. I have some general questions. I don't know how specific I was to be, so.
Well, that's okay.
Take it away, Karen.
Standard questions.
Get that paper out. Can I ask you an odd question?
Sure.
Has somebody been talking to you, or have you been talking to somebody about moving? Or did you just move?
I have been, the idea has been thrown around over the last few months about me moving.
Okay. Because I'm going, that's so weird. It feels like you're moving.
Wow.
I also feel like I'm moving, though. I bought a house a year ago, and I've been remodeling it. So that's a problem.
It is. It definitely feels like you're moving, darling.
Yeah.
So what? But I had to say that to you, because it's like when I heard your voice, it's like she's moving. So what is your first question, Miss Ginger? I love your name.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to know about. I'm doing a lot of stuff with my career right now, and kind of just wanted to know if I'm in the right direction.
Yes, you are, and there is a man that's going to come along that's going to. It's so funny because it's going to start out as, and you're going to be a little cautious, of course, obviously, but he is going to know exactly how to get you, raise your profile.
Okay.
And it's so funny because everybody that he's substantially older than you. And I keep wanting to say it feels like he was in either marketing or advertising, and was crazy successful and knows everybody. And you're going to go from about 0 to 60 in like 6 months. And it's funny because the last 2 years just feel like it's been one thing after another of why didn't that work? You know?
That's exactly right. I feel
That's
like
exactly what it looks like to me. It's like you have tried everything, but this guy knows all the, I keep wanting to say the back roads to get there, where you don't have to get stuck in the freeway clog. You know, and you will be friends with the two of you will become lifelong friends until he is no longer here.
Oh wow!
And he's absolutely a lovely man. And I don't want you to misunderstand. I don't mean he's like 80, you know, but he's a grown up. His kids are grown. It feels like he may have young grandchildren. And he's just lovely. And when you first meet him, as I'm sure most men do when they meet you, everybody thinks it's an ooh baby introduction. This is not an ooh baby introduction, but you guys will become fabulous friends.
Oh, good.
And he is going to move mountains for your business, because if he likes somebody, that's what he does. And I don't see him saying to you, well, this is going to cost you $175,000. This is none of that. He will pick up the phone and make some phone calls, and all of a sudden you're also going to get a lot of media coverage. And it'll start out local and then go national.
Oh, wow.
He is the guy you want to know, and you're going to be spending a lot of time in New York.
I like the sound of all of that. Sounds like hope.
Good. Well, it's so clear to me. He's so clear to me. I feel like I could walk up to him and say hi. And he has a normal name like Richard or David or Mike, or, you know, a normal name. And he's one of those guys that kind of reminds me of John Forsythe or John Gavin, you know, in a blazer and slacks, you know, and he's very clean cut. His hair feels like it's silver, but he's very polished looking. But he's not a guy that walks around in a suit and tie. He looks like he stepped off a boat. Excuse me, in his case it'd be a yacht, but never mind that. Okay. So, and he's just lovely. He's somebody that he's so genuine. And your friends, I see some of your friends going, so I'm afraid to ask, what is this going to cost you? Because he knows everybody. And you know a lot of people, but he knows everybody, Ginger. And he's the guy that can pick up a phone. So interesting, because he does not carry himself like that. He'll be just as nice to somebody that's a barista at a coffee place than he will in Paris at a fine restaurant. He's lovely.
Some really, really good news.
Yeah, so this will be a lifelong friendship. And he'll have an enormous impact on your life. And he feels like he's probably around 5'11", 6 foot, and fit. He's built like I want to say a tennis player or a swimmer. You know?
Okay.
He looks like he stepped out of GQ. So, what else would you like to know, sweetheart?
I have questions about my son.
Absolutely. Can I ask you an odd question? You don't have 2 children?
No, I just have one.
That's so strange. It feels like you should have had a second child. Did you lose a child?
No, I wanted a second child with my husband, but he passed before.
I understand that. You and I have unfortunately walked in the same shoes.
Yeah, I never remarried, and just me and my
you
son.
have had ample opportunity, but he was a tough act to follow, honey. You know, and and it's funny because he's there with your other son. Because
wow.
you come to me with two sons. Isn't that interesting?
That's really interesting.
Yeah. Wow. He's so crystal clear to me. So what do you want to know about your son, honey?
He's struggling right now a lot, and we're kind of misconnecting. He's 13.
Mhm. Well, part of it is that he has a difficult time. I keep wanting to say giving himself permission to be who he is, and he thinks that he needs to be a certain way and kind of shuts down. He's having more than just a difficult time right now. It feels like he's not really connecting with anybody, sweetheart. And he's afraid you're not going to love him anymore, which, of course, is nonsense.
No, of course. Oh.
Of course. Are you kidding? With everything you've been through, he's the center of your universe. Are you kidding? But at 13, of course, he doesn't know that. And he has been going through this over this same period of 2 years. Man, you've had 2 years I wouldn't wish on someone that I didn't like. I cannot even imagine how difficult it has been. Every step of the way. And your son is also been having that issue. It feels like he has become, I want to say, more withdrawn. Can I offer you a suggestion for him?
Sure.
Because he has a really difficult time expressing himself. He is painfully sensitive. And he doesn't have, and please do not take this personally, what I'm about to say. This is a part of his nature. He has a very difficult time trusting anybody with his feelings. And the couple of times when he was a child, when he did, he was wounded. Not by you, not by family, but by people that he thought were his friends. And he's become more withdrawn because of that, less communicative. And my suggestion to you for him is he's incredibly creative. And if you can get him into a creative writing class or theater, something that will help bring him out of his shell. I don't care if it is some art form that will appeal to him. Because he needs to do something to express the emotional part of himself because he's scared that if you find out who I am, you're not going to like me, Mom. You won't love me anymore. And, of course, we know that's ridiculous. But it feels like he has a very complicated emotional makeup and has it really settled in when he was 11. When did he turn 13?
In August.
Please, because he's incredibly creative. I don't care if it's music. I don't care if it's writing. I don't care if it's theater class or pottery or painting or something so he can express himself. Because he's incredibly creative.
Yeah, he is really, really creative. He likes to draw a lot, and he's really
I
amazing.
bet. Is he in an art class?
He is at school, and I've tried to put him in out of school activities, but he said that he doesn't like doing the projects they give him to do.
Well, that's why it's not that kind of a. I'm talking about something that really is either, a drawing class or a painting class that isn't for little kids. It's not yes.
Okay.
Yes, because that will be a better emotional fit for him.
Okay.
And he can learn technique. Because he's so incredibly gifted. And this is something that will help open him up.
Okay. Definitely what I was wondering.
Well, it feels like he's sort of like put a cloak around himself, and he's so emotionally fragile inside, and trust is very difficult for him. And it's not about you. You did nothing to cause this. It's the way he's manifested the growing pains part of the program, And he has had. Can I ask you a weird question?
Sure.
I keep seeing this older woman around him that comes like a grandmother, but she doesn't feel like she's here. She feels like she's in the next world.
Oh. He visits his grandmother on his dad's side all the time, and he visits my mom occasionally. But
is your grandmother? Your grandmother's not around anymore.
My grandmother is around, but I don't have a relationship with her.
No, this is an older woman that feels like a grandmother's age.
Huh.
And I keep seeing her like a guardian angel around him. Isn't that interesting?
Closest woman I connected with that was like my grandmother was my great-grandmother. She died when I was like 11 years old.
Yeah, well, she's around your son.
Oh.
Because she is crystal clear to me. She doesn't look like she's from this generation. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, she definitely.
So that makes perfect sense to me. That's why I kept saying she looks like a grandmother, not like grandmothers look today. I mean, they all look like they're 35. It's like. But this one looks like a grandmother, like when we were kids and grandmothers actually looked like grandparents.
Yeah. Yeah. She looked like a great.
Yeah, this one looks like that. That completely like an older woman.
Yeah, I mean, she always looked like my great grandmother, so that makes total sense.
Yeah, with gray hair and the little Peter Pan collar and a little belt, and yeah, I get it. That's exactly how I see her, and I keep seeing her around your son. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
God, she must have loved you. Oh.
We definitely had an interesting connection. She was always very receiving and warm.
Well, it does feel like you recognized each other from another life.
Yeah.
And your son is a gift to her. And she feels like, I mean, when I was talking about him, I kept seeing her literally like a guardian angel for him.
Oh.
And it's so funny because she was such a character. She put up with nobody's nonsense, but in the nicest way, you know? And when
Yeah.
she said no, there was no negotiating to maybe.
Exactly. That was exactly right.
That's exactly what and she's sort of like, which part didn't you understand? Would you like me to say it more slowly? You know?
Yeah.
And respectful to everybody and would put up with no nonsense.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I just adore her. And if she asks somebody to do something, it's like, you know, she expected it to be taken care of because she did enough for 17 people.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
she was everybody's caretaker. It's astonishing. Wow.
I have a lot of great aunt and uncles, or a lot of great aunts and uncles. She had a lot of kids.
That's okay. Because, I mean, it feels like she just barely sat down. And
No,
I don't even know if she ever had a hot meal, you know, because she was so busy making sure everybody else ate. And by the time it came to her, the food was cold, you know.
That sounds about right, actually.
That's exactly what it feels like. And it's what makes me laugh is when she would tell the boys to do something. I mean, she, as busy as she was, she had eyes everywhere. And if it didn't get done, she gave that look. I mean, and all of a sudden they would go, "Oh, I am taking care of it right now." You know. I love it. They don't build them like that anymore. You know?
No, definitely not. You can give looks now, and that you don't get the same response.
No, you don't. You know, it's funny because I've asked people when I hear them carrying on, I look at them and go, "Do you eat with that same mouth?" You know, like if I'd have ever even thought of speaking to anybody like that, I wouldn't have lived to be an adult. You know?
Yeah. Same.
It's like wow, and I realized that the words please, thank you, and gratitude has sort of fallen out of the language, you know. And a friend of mine's son asked me, "Why do you think that is?" And I said, "Because they can't figure out how to get it into 140 characters." So they just threw it out. Threw it out altogether, you know.
Oh, that's
So,
sad and it's true,
isn't it? It really is. And when I held the door open for 2 separate times, and both of the people stopped and looked at me and said, "Wow, thank you." And I looked at them and said, "Good manners never go out of style."
That's correct. That is exactly right. I get often I tell people yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir, no matter.
Hello and
age.
thank you, please. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's shocking to most people.
Yeah, when I say yes ma'am, no ma'am, or yes sir, no sir, they're like, "Well, I'm not that old." I'm like, "Well, it has nothing to do with your age. Just a sign of respect."
That's not even the point. It's just you know, you grow up learning to have gratitude and respect.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Mm-mm. Nope.
So your is it your great grandmother?
Yeah, I called her Big Nanny.
Yeah, well, Big Nanny is around your son, sweetheart, and has been since the day he took his first breath.
Oh, sweet. That makes me
So
happy.
you might want to talk to her because she's around you too, honey. She didn't go anywhere. I'm always amazed when people think that the cover is the book, you know, and it isn't. That's not the story.
That's very well said.
People today would never survive the life that she lived. And
She's the strongest woman.
Oh my God, I'm telling you, backbone truly of steel. And she is still there. And she'll hear you when you're washing a cup at the sink, sweetheart. You need to talk to her. She'll let you know she's around. Jonathan and Barbara know this, and I've said it before. I am the last living member in my family. And if I did not know that my mother was still with me every day of my life, I would have crawled in the ground with her.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I'm telling you, she does things to let me know she's here, and it is hilarious. It used to freak my ex-husband out because she had a great sense of humor.
Well, that's good.
Well, when we were watching a movie, and all of a sudden he looked at me because he used to say to me, the least your mother can do if she's going to keep visiting is the dishes or something, you know. And he never met my mom because she was gone by the time he and I met. And I said to him, careful with that, right? And we were watching a movie one night, and I'm sitting in the lounge chair with my feet up, and he's sitting on the sofa, and we're watching the movie, and I paused it, and all of a sudden he looked at me and said, is that the dishwasher? And I looked at him and went, yeah, that does sound like that, doesn't it? And he said to me, you turned on the dishwasher? I said, what are you talking about? I haven't moved my butt out of this chair. I've been watching a movie. He said, that's impossible. So I scoot out of the chair, and I walk behind him into the kitchen, and sure as God makes little green apples, the dishwasher is locked and running. He said, no way. And I looked at him and I said, way? I said, I told you, be careful. And my favorite part is he unlocked it and opened the door, and the dishwasher was empty. I said, see? No excuse to be disrespectful.
So funny. Wow.
Oh my God, she was hilarious.
I like
I mean, the day I lose my sense of humor is the day I hope God throws dirt on me, because we're such funny creatures as humans, you know?
Yeah. It's nice to laugh.
Absolutely. It's so healing. And we
is.
all, you know, every single one of us have had losses that a lot of people don't survive emotionally. And I am so grateful that I have my sense of humor, because if we don't remember how the people that we've loved and are gone now lived, why would we focus on how they left? I don't want to think about that. I want to think about all the memories of the beautiful things and all the funny things that we shared.
Yeah. Remember the good times.
Yeah. Because the truth is, what we take with us really are our memories. Everything else is temporary. I don't know anybody's taking it all with them.
Nope. Haven't come across that yet either.
Nope. Even that woman that put a check in with her husband. I mean, you know, it's like.
Hope you can pass this.
Yeah, it's like just in case he needed some change, you know.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
So what other question do you have? And please, I beg of you, I want you to start looking around for something that is, because he's emotionally very mature. It is, but it's difficult for him to give himself permission to talk about being so sensitive. He's a lovely child.
He is very sensitive.
Really?
I do know.
Oh my, so incredibly.
Yeah.
So, but he's a boy, and unfortunately, he doesn't have permission, he thinks, to talk about how he feels. So I'm asking you, please, pretty please, to find a an art class that is more emotionally suited to him, because he feels weird being in a class with kids.
Yeah, he definitely
It
doesn't.
Well, he doesn't connect with them. They live in a different world than he does.
Yeah.
So, just a thought.
No, that's very good feedback, and it's a great suggestion. I'm definitely going to be looking into that. I've thought about putting him into acting before, even though I know he loves art, but I just thought it would be a creative outlet for him.
Well, I think when he has permission to actually be himself, that's when it'll open up like a tuna can. And the writing, if that is how, or drawing, if that is how it impacts him, and that's his outlet, because he feels, I mean, anything creative that he chose to do, he would excel in. It really is a God-given gift. So,
and thank you. We're gonna talk about this tomorrow. I'm gonna ask him what he thinks to see what ideas he can come up with.
Absolutely, and to come with you, and the two of you will go together and kind of interview the teacher in the classes, you know.
Yeah.
And when he sees that they're not for 7 and 10-year-olds, then I think he'll understand. Oh wow, this is great, because it's a completely different format than an after-school class.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Also, this
Well,
age
it will open him up, and then he can share himself emotionally with you. He's such a lovely kid.
Thank you.
They're changing so much at this time, don't you think? Ginger,
Oh, wow.
this age.
Yeah.
My daughter's
Yeah.
12, and I see changes like hourly, not daily, hourly. So anything that could help open him up so he can express all these different things and ideas that are going on in his head right now, that's just going to be so great. Great.
And
advice.
Barbara, he's like 13 going on 35.
He's
Emotionally,
cool.
I mean,
wow.
he
He's
is
connected
so, he doesn't have these child's emotions. They're very grown up, and boy, like Priscilla, if they don't like somebody, I would never let him in my house again, because he is an incredibly fine judge of character.
Okay.
And
yeah, we had a couple people in our house last night, and she didn't like one of them.
Yep, they'd never step foot in the house
that makes my
again.
life easier. Okay, she's the
Yep,
filter.
the litmus test. Yep. And
that.
Ginger, your son is like that. If he shuts down on somebody that comes to your house, or when you guys are out somewhere, boy, they'd never be in the house again. Because he really is, it's like radar for him. And Priscilla, Barbara's daughter, has that same thing.
I forgot you had said that, Karen. I'm glad that you reminded us of that.
Absolutely.
Because I
I'm,
won't have that person back.
I'm telling you, when my mother used to say, if I didn't talk to somebody and I just sat across the room or something and watched them, that was a bad sign. She knew.
So good she saw that in you and she trusted that.
Can I tell you something? You know, I told you and Priscilla and that I was such a freak as a kid, because in elementary school I was 5'9.5".
Oh my goodness!
And excuse me, and what I didn't tell you is I skipped the 3rd to the 6th grade.
Oh.
Right.
Wow.
So, and I was excruciatingly shy with a terrible stutter, and I was the weird tall girl that just knew stuff that I had no right to know. Made me wildly popular. Boy, I'm telling you, I was a hit.
Karen, oh my God.
And the nice part is, my mother, like you, Barbara, and like you, Ginger, is the only person that made me understand there was nothing wrong with me being who I am. And that if people didn't like me because I was too tall, short, thin, fat, blonde, pink, blue, that's their problem, not mine. We're all only human. And
right.
we all have different gifts, It's like Kelly does chakra cleansing and guided meditations. I've taught meditation, but hers are really beautiful, the ones she does. And she does chakra cleansing. So what's the question? Those are two of the gifts she has. And Ginger, when you step back and look at all that you've accomplished through such unspeakable loss, what's the question? It's like, and in spite of everything that you have had to fight your way through, it's like, wow. So again, what's the question? And it's what's your son's first name?
Sebastian.
Oh, isn't that pretty?
Thank you. His father named.
You know what? And I was just going to say to you, you don't hear names like that anymore. And it is one of those beautiful classic names from another time. He was like that, though.
I actually didn't hear his name. What is it again, Ginger?
Sebastian.
Oh, I love that name. That's a beautiful name.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes.
Both of you guys gave your children beautiful, unusual names where, my theory, I'll bet there weren't 6 of them in each of their classes.
Right.
Definitely not.
Remember, I asked the teacher to call all 6 of us by our last name, and she said no. And I said, why not? And she said, because you're Karen. I said, yes, but so is she, and so is she, and so is she. It's like, what? I'm trying to make this easy on you, lady.
Oh, gosh. Should have listened to you.
It's true.
Ridiculous. Oh,
she was having none of that, So
yeah, I don't think you have ever run into another Priscilla at all in school.
Thank you. I knew one. I was friends with a girl with that name when I was growing up. But you don't hear those names anymore. You don't hear the name Priscilla and Sebastian. It's like they're brand new for people, and they're beautiful.
Thank you.
It's true.
Yeah, thank you.
I told you I was going to go with Eleanor Roosevelt, but it was already taken, and it would have been way too complicated to explain. So
that's right.
So, do you have other questions, Miss Ginger?
I had one more question.
Yeah, you can ask me too. They're small,
I recently have been going through emotional changes that I've never dealt with before, dealing with my romantic life. And I think, I don't know if it's because I'm so busy with work or whatnot, but I was just curious about...
you made yourself busy.
Yeah.
So that you having room for anybody else in your life after your husband, that was just not even a remote option.
Yeah.
You had what, sweetheart?
I said I tend to do that a lot.
Well, what I was going to say was, and that kind of fills in that blank, you went through such an enormous amount of loss, not just your husband, but such an enormous amount of loss in a relatively short period of time that you went on what I call autopilot.
That makes sense.
That's exactly what it feels like. You made yourself the, you were the poster child for the amazing parent, okay? And you wanted to make sure that the home was comfortable and felt safe and everything was set. And, oh, my God, I better start figuring out what I'm going to do with myself so I can take care of him too, and we can actually have a life. And, there was no room, sweetheart, because your grief manifested in such a personal way because you, like your great-grandmother, had to be there for everybody else. You know what I mean, Miss Ginger?
Yes, I do.
I know you do, sweetheart. By the way, when I went through what you're going through, it didn't even enter my mind to go have a cup of coffee with anybody for more than 5 years. It wasn't even there was nothing to even talk about. I hear you. And you did everything to make yourself so busy, and the grief was so internalized. And it wasn't only the loss of your husband. There was a whole, army of people that you lost in a very short period of time. And I want you to do something to help heal that, okay, so that there is room for you to have love in your life. You know, your husband would want that. He didn't want you to be alone, sweetheart.
No, I don't think he did.
Oh, trust me, he didn't. If he'd have loved you anymore, you'd have been triplets. It's like, no, he definitely did not ever expect for you to be alone. And
hard act to follow.
What, sweetheart?
I said he's just a really hard act to follow.
Oh, I understand. I know that feeling. And no, there's only going to be one of him. However, I want you to do something. I want you to sit down and I want you to write him a letter. And I do not want you to reread it. I want you to date it, and I want you to put it in a file somewhere. But do not reread it. I don't care if it's a 30-page run-on sentence. I don't care if it's grammatically correct. None of that matters. Because in order for you to have room, to have love in your life, and for him to be able to help send that person into your life, you need to be able to say everything you didn't have a chance to say. Got it?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, so you'll be astonished. And get a couple of big boxes of Kleenex when you go to write the letter. Okay? And I don't care if it takes you an hour, a week, a month. I want you to pick it up wherever you feel like what you need to write, because you need to get it all out. Okay?
Yeah.
You'll be astonished at how freeing it is, and how for the first time you'll actually feel like you can really breathe. And, by the way, you'll also know that you're not alone. Hasn't Sebastian had dreams about his father?
If he has, he hasn't told me.
Well, he will. He will.
I think
So what
he's
did you want to
missing
know?
him now.
If what, sweetheart?
I said I think he's missing him now more than. I mean, he passed away when my son was 15 months old, but
I know.
I think right now, yeah.
Well, he didn't go anywhere, honey. He's still around.
Oh yeah, I talk about him all the time. So.
Well, not only that, it's that you and Sebastian were the loves of his life. This was not his plan, you know. And he is going to. You're not meant to be alone, sweetheart. And he's just waiting for you to make room so he can send his buddy. And it'll freak you out because there'll be so many things that were so specific to your husband. And this lovely gentleman will do, and he'll make you laugh like nobody ever has. Ever. And he has that, it's so funny because when people met him, they thought he was very stern and serious, and he really was very funny. And he had the, excuse the expression, goofy gene. You know? And this gentleman feels like he has that same thing. You're gonna go, oh my God. And you will, trust me, 1,000% know that he was sent by your husband.
That's so cool.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, Barbara, it's like one of those things that you kind of go, do you know how I can count on less than a hand how many times I have ever said this to anybody, and I've met over 1 million people in my life.
Wow.
Yeah. It is, I mean, this was like, wow. And it's so funny because this man is so kind. And you're going to laugh when I say this. Okay, Jonathan, I had to say it. This guy looks like he's I keep wanting to say he has the most gorgeous posture, you know. And has been very athletic in his life. It's not the man I was talking about before. He's built completely different. But this guy actually is really handy, you know? He's the guy that's like one-stop shopping. He can fix everything. It's the funniest thing. You're going to go, how did you ever learn to do that? You know? It's not going to matter if it's plumbing or electrical or something that, I mean, you're going to look at him and go, and he's going to say, I have 1,000 surprises to share with you. You know what I mean? And it will be that constant journey of learning together. And Sebastian is going to take one look at him, and it will be, there you are.
Yeah.
And his eyes will light up. So, yeah, you're about to start a whole new life, darling.
Well, this is exciting.
Yeah, very exciting.
Barbara, you know how I'm very picky. I like him.
I love that. Wow. So she just needs to open herself up and do the things that you said. Write that letter, and that is
She
going
needs
to be
heal,
intense.
because this is still in so many ways raw. Because I mean, she had it piled on and piled on and piled on because it wasn't just one loss. And she had to put on the brave face. And I mean, literally, like her great grandmother, she was the caretaker of everybody. And there was no room for her. So there's not been opportunity for this to heal in 11 and a half years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Ginger, she's so strong. She's such a strong person with the fitness. I mean, you have to be a certain mindset to be able to train
And
the way she trains.
She
But
is.
she's so
and trust
sweet
me,
too.
Yes, but do you remember what I said earlier about the two of you? You guys are not just another pretty face. People are always so shocked when they realize that you're not the, oh, hi, can I get you peas or mashed potatoes, hon? How was your day, you big, strong guy? And that you both have very powerful identities, It's like, wow. Because there's a big difference between needing someone in your life and wanting to share your life with somebody. Neither of you need a man to give you an identity. You have your own identity. But it would be so lovely to be with somebody that actually really gets you.
Right.
And it's like, wow.
I'm not
and,
stopping until I get that. Otherwise, I just don't want one. I have to have.
Well,
one
why would either
so
of you?
boring, right?
Well, not only boring, but it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point?
You both have children. Why would you want another one?
Yeah, no.
At this
Right.
point, why? And a grown one? No, thanks.
Yeah.
Does that answer
like
all your
truth.
questions, Ginger?
Yes. That answers a lot more than just the original questions I thought of.
Good.
Okay. So you had another question, or?
No. I said that she answered way more than I was ever expecting to hear. So.
Well,
all right, that's great.
you've been in hiding emotionally for a really long time, and it's time for Ginger to come out and play and really laugh and to have love in your life again. Because trust me, that's exactly what your husband would want you to have. You know that.
Yeah.
So please let us know.
Okay.
KarenPage.com.
KarenPage.com. And also you'll be able to find your show on YouTube shortly. Yay. And pass that around. And then you now can look forward to a chakra cleanse. So then we're going to be able to hear.
Can I tell you that will help? That will help with the healing when you have that done in ways you can never imagine. It'll feel like 1,000 pounds are lifted off your shoulders.
Oh, that would be nice.
She's fabulous.
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait to meet her as well.
Oh, you will love Kelly. I mean, she is a doll, and that is really something that this is such a perfect time in your life to do that, because you are finally you're peeking out the door, kind of going, I wonder if there's a world out there for me.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel right now. Kind of trying to find my place.
When's your birthday?
December 10th.
Oh, well, you're going to really love Kelly. She's another little Sag.
Oh, we're rare.
Rare, beautiful creatures. Well, please stay in touch and let us know. And I'm excited for your chakra cleansing day.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. It was so nice meeting you.
You too, sweetheart. You
Thank
too.
you,
And
Ginger,
please, would you
so
give
much.
Sebastian a big hug for me?
Yes, I sure will.
Thank you.
Oh, good. Yes, thank you so much, Ginger. This is great. What a wonderful reading.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so it's fun, right? You had a good time.
Yeah,
This was
definitely.
her first. Yeah.
You've never been to a psychic before?
No.
Well, I understand, and I'm sort of the anomaly.
Yep, you got the best, that's for sure.
Woman from Mars or somewhere.
Awesome.
Well, big hugs all around.
Thank
Thank you, Karen, so very much.
Absolutely, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wonderful as usual.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I don't know what usual is,
Karen.
but my experience is wonderful.
Yeah.
That's what matters because it's your life.
Yeah.
Karen, is it okay if I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm a little bit concerned about my nephews. They're both autistic, right? I told you that.
Right. Well, I'm more concerned
They're
about
doing-
one of them than I am the other.
Well, what do you mean?
I'm more concerned about one of them than I am the other one.
Okay. Well, there's the younger one that isn't as developed as the older one is. Is that the one you were concerned about?
The one that really is, if you walked in the room, he wouldn't even acknowledge you.
Yes.
Okay, that's the one I'm concerned about because boy, talk about living inside his head.
Well, I'll give you an example of something that happened recently. We had a lady that was taking care of him. Her name was Celeste. And she was actually kind of similar. If you saw her, she kind of reminded me a little bit of Barbara. She was, she had one, when I saw her, I mean, she just, this blonde-haired, girl about in her 20s. Well, what happened was that he has been having fits lately, and I don't know the details of it, but she was about ready to leave, and he had a fit.
You mean tantrums?
And he started, yeah, so he grabbed her. And she goes, whoa. And she kind of freaked out and decided that she couldn't handle him anymore, so she quit. But, I mean, it's like
I'm sorry to hear that, but the part of the issue is his attachment. He doesn't understand why anyone would leave. He doesn't have the capacity to understand it. And it goes back to emotionally trusting her. He felt safe with her.
His name is Alex.
Alex?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's the issue, honey. He didn't mean to hurt her or be aggressive.
Yeah.
It wasn't his intention, but what, honey?
Where do you think he'll be in a few years?
Well, he's always going to have care.
Yeah.
I can't tell. He's not going to be functioning easily in the world. He will always need care.
That's true.
That's exactly what it feels like. So I hear what you're asking me, but I can't say to you that this is going to get easier or better. He's going to always need care.
Yeah. I know. Well, thank you for clearing that up. I mean,
Absolutely. Are you kidding?
What do you think
Absolutely.
happened with What do you think happened with Dan, the other nephew?
Him, I'm much less concerned about. He is
Okay.
the more functional one of the two of them. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean?
He is. He does tend to do a little weird stuff, like he still
Honey.
watches Sesame Street.
I know, but honey, he's autistic. You're talking like a grown person. He does not have that emotional capacity. But he is more functional in certain ways. He doesn't have the, I want to say, highs and lows that Alex has. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because, I'm sorry. What is the other one's name?
Dan and Alex.
Okay. Dan is the one that is. He is less.
Van.
I'm sorry.
VAN.
Sorry. Oh, Van. Okay.
Van.
He is.
Yeah.
He is the one that is less emotionally reactive, and not as. I'm trying to say this in as nice a way as I can. He is. Alex forms these attachments, you know, where he will, you're my person. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And, of course, that's kind of not real life, you know?
Right.
So there's an issue with that, but Van doesn't have that. He doesn't have that that fear of being abandoned. And he is the more even-natured of the two. So, what, dear?
No, I understand.
So, I wish I could say to you, oh, yeah, they're going to grow up and go to work for Google or something. That's not true. You know? It's not true. But Van is the one that will be the easier of the two to live as an adult. Will he ever be independent? No. But not in the same way as Alex.
Now, my other two nephews, I told you that I have one that has recently considered himself transgender, right? Did I tell you about that?
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen with my nephew Ryan?
Well, he's going to be fine. I'm not worried about him. How old is he now?
He's about 20-something. Are you worried about Isaac?
No. Boy, it's so funny. They're different as chalk and cheese.
He's
wow.
living himself up. He's the one that's identified as a woman. So,
honey, you know what? In the words of that great sage, Lady Gaga, we're all born that way. Whatever it is, how we identify. I was born straight. You were born straight. I've had friends that got married 3 times because they thought their family needed them to be straight. And the truth is, they happened to be gay or they were transgender. I had a friend that was married over 20 years and could not come out until his father passed away and transitioned.
Wow.
So I hear you, but he feels like he's going to be fine, and I have great respect for him for being honest about how he sees himself.
Yeah.
Because it's, we don't have to do that. We just walk into a room and people go, "Oh, Jonathan's a man." Okay. Barbara's a woman. Okay. And there's none of that. But when you don't feel like you're born in the right body, we can't imagine what that feels like. I have 2 or 3 friends that have transitioned. And you know what? They're the loveliest people in the world. They're exactly the same people as I've always known them to be. Nothing changed. Do they look different? Yes. But that's the book cover. It's not the story.
Well,
and they're happier now.
Well, thank you for coming on and helping us out with the show. Do you have any
My
questions?
pleasure. I love you guys. And Ginger's a doll.
Thank you.
She really is. Thank you, Ginger, and thank you,
Well,
Karen. And it was a great show. And we missed Kelly, but
Yeah, we're
She'll be
sending
back
you hugs,
tomorrow.
Miss Kelly.
sending you hugs, Kelly.
all right. Let's see everybody tomorrow, right?
Okay.
Yep. I love
Have a
you
great
guys.
night, everybody. Love you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Ginger.